Hello students, I am Rohan Chogle and again today we are here to discuss related to the data structure. As in previous lecture we have studied the basic types of data structure, that is array, linked list, then tree, graph, stack and queue. Okay, these things we have studied in the previous lecture. Now in this case or in this lecture we are going to study the operations in data structure as well as the few things related to the algorithm. So let's start with the operations in data structure. So basically whatever data is available or data appearing in our data structure can be processed by means of certain operation. So we can process data which is available in data structure with the help of some different operations. Okay, so what are that operations we have in data structure? So let's see one by one. So first operation is nothing but it is a traversing. So simple traversing means, okay, it is a accessing. What is meaning of traversing? Traversing is nothing but accessing each record exactly once so that certain item in the record may be processed. Okay, so just traversing means suppose we have one data, okay, having n element, so just we have to travel from first location to nth location, and while traveling from first location to nth location we have to access each data or each item exactly once. This is nothing but traversing. Okay, so this is an example of this is a definition of traversing. Next one is searching. Okay, so name itself implies we have to search something. So searching is nothing but it is a finding the location of the record with a given key value or finding the location of all records which satisfy one or more conditions. So in case of searching, we can search the record, we can search the item with a given key value. We have one key value, accordingly we have to find the location of a certain item, or we have location and accordingly we have to find the value present at that location. So different things are there while searching any element or while searching the location of an element. So this is about the searching of an item. Next one is inserting. So inserting operation simple. So inserting is nothing but adding a new record into the structure. So just we have to insert record in the structure which is already available. So this is nothing but insertion. Deletion simply it is removing the record from the structure. Next one is sorting. So this means by sorting is nothing but arranging the records in some logical order. Okay, so arranging the record in logical order means suppose we have alphabets, we can arrange that alphabets in ascending or descending order, or we have numbers, we can arrange that numbers in increasing or decreasing order. So this is one type of order in which we can arrange our data. This is nothing but sorting. And next one is merging. So what merging? Merging is nothing but combining the records in two different sorted files into a single sorted file. So we have two different files or two different data structures, just we have to merge or we have to combine that into a single file. This is nothing but merging. So these are some operations which are available in data structure, that is traversing, searching, inserting, deleting, sorting and merging. Okay, so this is about the operations. Next one is the main thing, that is algorithms. So what is algorithm? That we have already you might have heard many times, that is we have to prepare one algorithm before writing the program, or we have to prepare flowchart before writing the program. So before writing the program we have to prepare an algorithm. So what is that algorithm? So algorithm is a well defined list of steps for solving a particular problem. So algorithm is nothing but list of steps for solving particular problem. So we have one problem. Now how to solve that problem? That steps are nothing but your algorithm. We can write algorithm in a word or in a sentence. We can write that steps in a sentence. That is how we can solve that problem. So algorithm is a well defined list of steps for solving a particular problem. An algorithm can be implemented in more than one programming language. So simple algorithm, it is nothing but it is the steps that how to solve the problem. While after writing the algorithm, we can implement that algorithm with the help of many different languages, many different programming languages. So we have one algorithm, we can implement that algorithm with the help of C programming. We can implement the same with the help of C++ programming. Other we can implement with the help of Python. Again, we can implement the same with the help of then Java programming, .NET. So n number of programming languages are there. With the help of that programming language, we can implement our algorithm. So from the data structure point of view, the following are the simple categories of algorithm. Okay, so what are the categories? The searching category. So as we have already said, is searching. What it mean by searching? What we do, we just simply search an element which is present in that data structure. So this is one of the category of algorithm, search. Search category, algorithm, in search category, algorithm to search an item in a data structure. Next one is sort. Okay, so in this case, we sort items in a certain order. Then insert category, here in this case, we insert item into data structure. Next one is update. Okay, so here in this case, we update an existing item into the data structure and delete. So simply we delete an existing item from the data structure. So these are some categories of algorithms. So search, sort, insert, then update and delete. So these are some categories related to the algorithm. So next, so what are the characteristics of an algorithm? So let's start with the characteristics of algorithm. So following are the categories of algorithm, that is unambiguous. So name itself implies it should not be ambiguous. So for in case of ambiguous, algorithm should be clear and unambiguous. That is, each of the steps and their input output should be clear and must lead to one meaning only. So whatever steps we are going to write in the case of algorithm, it should be clear and unambiguous. So it only lead to one meaning. So we get clear idea after reading the steps written in the algorithm that we have to do this thing. So it should not create any ambiguity that either we can do this or do this. Such ambiguity should not be there while writing the algorithm. So this is ambiguous. The next one is input. An input in case of algorithm, an algorithm should have 0 or more well-defined inputs. So while writing algorithm, we can take 0, or we cannot take any input, or we can take more than one inputs also. And output in case of algorithm, as we are writing or we are solving the problem. So after solving the problem, somewhat output we should get. That is, so output in case of algorithm, an algorithm should have one or more well-defined output. At least one output should be there. So, and whatever it should match to desired output. So whatever output we are getting, it should match with the desired output. So this is in case of output. So in input, it should be 0 or more, but output, at least one output should be there, one or more. Next one is finiteness. The algorithm must terminate after finite number of steps. Remember that we have written one program. After certain time, it should get terminated. Okay, it should not be infinite. Okay, after some time we should get output. So we must the thing should be kept in the mind that the algorithm must terminate after certain number of steps. Okay, then feasibility should be feasible with the available resources. Okay, so it should be feasible with the whatever resources are available. Then independent. So while writing the algorithm, we should have step-by-step directions, as we already studied. It is a stepwise algorithm, is a step-by-step. Here we have that definition. So algorithm is a step-by-step, is a step for solving a particular problem. So an algorithm should have step-by-step directions, and which should be independent of any programming code. Okay, our algorithm should not depend on any other programming code. After execution of that, our algorithm will execute. It should not happen in such way. our algorithm should be independent. So these are the some things, or these are some characteristics which we have to keep in our mind while writing an algorithm. So what are them? Okay, unambiguous, then input, output, then finiteness, then feasibility and independent. So these are the characteristics related to the algorithm. So next, how to write an algorithm. Okay, so just read this, you will easily understand how to write the algorithm. So there are no well-defined standards for writing algorithm. There is no such standard available that you can write the algorithm in such a manner. Okay, whatever the way you want, you can write your algorithm. Okay, rather it is a problem and resource dependent. So your algorithm is basically depend on whatever problem is there and whatever the resources available. So your algorithm is depend on problem and resources. Okay, algorithms are never written to support a particular programming code. As I said, algorithm never written to support a particular program. Algorithm should be general. We have to write generalized algorithm so we can implement that algorithm with the help of different programming languages. So keep in mind, algorithms are never written to support a particular programming code. It should be general. Okay, next, as we know that all programming languages share basic code constructs like loop, then flow control, that is loop we have already studied in a previous lectures, that is while loop, for loop, do while loop, again flow control, if else, nested if else, that we have already studied. Okay, so these all are available in the programming languages, and these common constructs can be used for writing an algorithm. Okay, next, we write algorithm in step-by-step manner, but it not always in a case. So sometime we cannot write in algorithm in step-by-step manner. Okay, again it depends on the problem which we have given. Then algorithm writing is a process and is executed after the problem domain is well defined. That is, we should know the problem domain for which we are designing the solution. So algorithm is a one type of solution. We have that problem, that is, so for example, suppose we have to add two numbers. So what is our problem? We have to add the two numbers. So accordingly we have to construct, or we have to write the algorithm, or we have to provide the solution for that problem. So let's see one simple example. Okay, so here is a simple example. Here we have to add two numbers. So we have to write an algorithm to add two numbers. So what steps we have to follow? So simple, just think that we have two numbers, we have to add two numbers. What we are going to do, first and last step, compulsory we have to write first step is start and last step is stop. Okay, in between that we have to write the code. So first step by default is start. Then what next, that as we have to add two numbers. Okay, as in previous cases, in previous lecture we have studied, to store any value we required variables. So in this case, while adding two numbers, what we required, for two numbers we require two variables, and to save the addition of two numbers we require third variable. So basically we require three variables. So first step is start, second step declare three integers a, b and c. So here three integers we have declared by the name a, b and c. Now we have three integers. Now what next, after getting three integers, what we have to do, we have to define value of a and b. That is, we have to take the values for a and b. A and b are two variables. We have to assign some values to that. So we have to define values to a and b. This is a third step. So after getting the value for a and b, what we have to do, just simply we have to add that values. That is, simply we have to add a and b. Okay, so now after adding that a and b, what we have to do, we have to store that addition into third variable, that is c. So store output of step 4 to c. This is our fifth step. And after this storing the value of addition in the variable c, what we have to do, we have to just display the output. That is, we have to print the value of c. That is print c. Okay, so this is and then after printing, our work is done. We have to just stop. So these are the steps. So this is the algorithm. So from this, it is clear that how to add two numbers. So here, this one is unambiguous algorithm. All steps are clear. So in first step is start, second we have to declare three variables of type integer, remember, of type integer. So I have specifically defined over there 3 integer a, b and c. Then in the third step we have to take values for a and b. After that third step, in the fourth step we have to add that two values. In fifth step we have to store the addition in c, and in next step we have to just print the value of c. So this is a one way to write an algorithm to add two numbers. We can write algorithm in different ways. So in this case we have 7 steps. Another alternative way we have that I have done the same in the 5 steps. So what I have done, so simple, same code, same problem I am having over here, that is we have to add two numbers. So how I have written the another way, alternative way of that adding two numbers, that is first step is start, then second get values of a and b, just collect the values of a and b, then third step add a and b and store in c and display c. Okay, so here I have reduced 2 steps, that is declare variables, that is in this case I have first declared 3 integers, then I have assigned values to that. But in this case what I have done, I have simply assigned the values to a and b. After that simultaneously I have added the value of a and b and stored the same in c, and last step is display the c. So these are the two alternative ways, two different ways to write an algorithm to add two numbers and display the result. Okay, so in this case normally okay, so in design and analysis of algorithm, usually the second method is used to describe an algorithm. So second step, which gives the first step also gives the clear idea, but second step also gives the clear idea. In that case the steps are less. Okay, so we normally use that algorithm, and it makes it easy for analysts to analyze the algorithm ignoring all unwanted definition. That is in first I have unnecessarily written that declare 3 variables, so no need to write that step. So directly you can write assign values to a and b, so automatically that analysts come to know that we have to take two numbers, and for that we require 2 variables. So we have, he or she will by default declare that variable. So in the second step, for analysts it is easy to analyze that algorithm ignoring all the unwanted definitions. So he can observe what operations are being used and how the process is flowing. So here we also come to know what is flow, that take two numbers, add in third step add that 2 numbers and store in the third variable c, in fourth step display c. That's it. It is a very simple algorithm. So here he or she can observe what operations are being used and how the process is flowing. Okay, so we design an algorithm to get solution of a given problem. So here we have designed an algorithm in 2 ways. This is a one way, this is a 2 way. Here we get the solution to add 2 numbers, right? So we design an algorithm to get solution for a given problem. Okay, and I said a problem can be solved in more than one way. Okay, so these are the 2 ways to add 2 numbers. So this is the first way, second way. Okay, you have some different way to write algorithm. You can, or you have some different logic to add 2 numbers, so you can use that logic also. Okay, so a problem can be solved in more than one way. Okay, so these are some picture view. So here we have n number of solution for a single problem. So this is our problem, and for that problem we have 1 2 3 4 solutions. We have n number of solutions for a single problem. Okay, so hence many solution algorithms can be derived for a given problem. For a single problem we have n number of solution. Okay, so after writing this problem, after writing the algorithm for a given problem, what next steps come? So next step is to analyze those proposed solution algorithm and implement the best suited solution. So as we have n number of solution, among that n number of solution, which one is best suited, that we have to choose, and that is carried out, and for that we have to analyze that algorithms, or we have to analyze that solution. So in the next lecture we are going to study how to analyze, or what are the steps, or what are different ways to analyze our proposed algorithm. Okay, so in this case we'll stop here. So before stopping the lecture, just go through the slides what we have studied till now. So we have studied the operations in the data structure: traversing, searching, inserting, deleting, sorting, merging. The next one is we have studied the definition of algorithm, that is, it is a well-defined list of steps for solving a particular problem. Then again we have studied the categories of algorithm: search category, sort, insert, update and delete category. Then next we have studied the characteristics of an algorithm that we have to consider while writing the algorithm. So unambiguous, our algorithm should be unambiguous. Then it has input, it should have 0 input or more well-defined inputs. Output, it should have 1 or more well-defined outputs. Then finiteness, okay, it must terminate after a finite number of steps. Then feasibility, then independent. So these are some characteristics we have to consider, or we have to keep in our mind while writing an algorithm. Next one is how to write algorithm. So as I said, there is no such a standard way to write an algorithm. Okay, so writing an algorithm is depend on the problem and resources available. So accordingly we have to write an algorithm. Okay, so I have given one example that we have to write an algorithm to add 2 numbers and we have to display the result. So this is one way and this is a second way. Normally the analyst choose the second way because it makes analyst too easy to ignore all unwanted definitions. So in this case, in the second step, we have removed all unwanted steps. Okay, so as I said, we have to write algorithm in generalized format, and we have more number of solutions, or we can write algorithm in n number of ways. So for a single problem we have n number of solutions, and from that solutions we have to choose the best suitable solution. And how to choose that best suitable solution? So for that we have to analyze that solutions, and in the next lecture we are going to see how to analyze that solution. Okay, so we'll stop here. Okay, thank you.